Good morning. Let's start by going through the mock exam. Okay, so question 1, trigonometry. Find in centimeters the exact length of FC. So FC is the long diagonal, so therefore FC squared will be the length squared plus the width squared plus the height squared, which is 300. So therefore FC will be the square root of 300, or the square root of 100 times the square root of 3, which is 10 root 3. That's part A. Moving on to part B. Find in degrees to one decimal place the size of angle FCA. So FC is the long diagonal, and we're going to draw AC as well. So this is the triangle we're looking at. It's always a good idea to pull the triangle out of the question. So FCA is our right angle. Now we know that FC is 10 root 3. And we know that FA is 10 because it's the height. Therefore, to find the size of the angle FCA, that's going to be opposite and the hypotenuse. So sine FCA is opposite over hypotenuse, which is 10 over 10 root 3. So therefore FCA is the shift sine of 1 over root 3. Which is 35.2 degrees to one decimal place. Sorry, 35.3 degrees. Okay, and move on to part C. Find to the nearest degree the size of the obtuse angle between BFH and BHC. So let's highlight those two. So BFH. So let's do that yellow. BFH is kind of like a diagonal cross section as we color it in. Okay, so that's that. And then BHC. So BHC will be the kind of like this side here. Okay, so to find the angle between those two planes, you need to find a point on plane 1, a point where the two planes meet, and a point directly below. And that's going to, so we want to try and look at this right angle triangle. And it's hard to see it, so let's draw it over here. We'll call this point M. So we have F and G and M. Now FG we know is 10, and the angle we're trying to find is this angle here. So in order to find this, we need to know either FM, which we don't know, or GM. So GM is half of the diagonal, so half of GC. So GC will be the square root of 10 squared plus 10 squared, so square root of 200. And that will be 10 root 2, and therefore GM is half of that, so it's going to be 5 root 2. And the angle between them we're trying to find is here, so that's opposite and adjacent. So using opposite and adjacent, so we're going to use tan FMG is opposite over adjacent. So 10 over 5 is just 2, so it's 2 over root 2, which is just root 2. So grab our calculators, do shift tan of root 2. And you get 54.7 degrees to 1 decimal place. Okay, let's move on. Straightforward question. Love these. So 4 easy marks in the back. Find the area of sector. So area is a half r squared theta. Perimeter is 2r plus r theta. So we know that the angle is 1.2 and the radius is 7. So 1 over 2 times 49 times 1.2. And this is going to be 2r, so that's 14 plus r times theta, so that's at 8.4. So that will give us 29.4 centimeters squared, because it's an area, and 22.4 centimeters, which is a perimeter. Moving on to question 3. So, it's a lovely short question, this. Very brief, 5 marks. Let's have a look. Curve has equation y equals 9 minus x squared. Integrate the region between the bounded by c and the x-axis. Okay. So, what does y equals x squared look like? What does y equals minus x squared look like? What does y equals minus x squared plus 9 look like? So we've moved up 9. So what are these points that they're going to meet the axes? Well, they're the values of x that will make this 0. So that's just going to be 3 and minus 3. So to find the region bounded by c and the x-axis, we're integrating between 3 and minus 3. 9 minus x squared dx. So first we integrate. 9 becomes 9x. Add 1 to the power and divide. So minus x cubed over 3. Between 3 and minus 3. So now we substitute in. So our first bracket is when we introduce 3. So 3 times 9 is 27. And that's 27 divided by 3 minus. That's going to be 9. And then we're going to subtract. We put minus 3 in here, so it's minus 27. Minus 3 cubed will be minus 27. Minus 27 over 3 is minus 9, but we're subtracting minus 9, so it'll be plus 9. Okay, so get your brackets first. So that'll be 18 minus 27 plus 9 is going to be minus 18, and that gives you a total of 18 plus 18, which is 36. 5 marks in the back. Moving on to question 4. The sum of the first n terms of an arithmetic series. Find the value of S20. So for part A, S20 will be 20 times 3 plus 2 times n, which is 20, so 40. So 43 times 20. And that just gives you 860. Part B. So we want to find out what the sum of this sequence is. All right. All right, let's have a look. So you remember that the formula for the sum of n is an nth term of sequence. Is n over 2 times a 2a plus m minus 1 times d. Okay. And this is what we get for our answer. So the question we have to ask ourselves is how we're going to find out what the kind of like the sequence is. Well, we can do that by inserting values. So what's the sum of the first one term of the sequence? It's going to be 5. And if we find the sum of the first two terms of the sequence, so it's going to be 2 times 3 plus 4, so that's 14. And the sum of the first 3 terms of the sequence will be 3 times 3 plus 6, that's 9, so that's 3 times 9, which is 27. So if the first term is 5, and the first and the second term is 14, that means the second term must be 9. And if the first 3 terms add up to 27, and these two add up to 14, then the next term is 13. So now we can see our arithmetic sequence. Our first term is 5, and our difference is 4. So the difference is 4 means it's going to be 4R, 4 times table. So check the first term, 4 times 1 is 4, but we want 5, so plus 1. Therefore A is 4, and B is 1. A different arithmetic series has first term 7 and difference 4. The sum of the first n terms is Tn. Okay, so this one's a little bit tricky. So first let's find an expression for the sum of the first n terms. So that's going to be n over 2, 2a plus n minus 1 times d. And you know that a is 7 and d equals 4. So that's going to be n over 2. So 2 times 7 is 14 plus 4n minus 4. So that's going to be n over 2 times 4n plus 10. We can divide by 2, and that's going to give you n times 2n plus 5. So that's the sum of the first n terms. Okay, sorry, I should have used the letter T here. Okay, so that's an expression for that. And now we know the sum of the first n terms in our previous sequence is n times 3 plus 2n. So we solve that. So we end up with 2n squared plus 5n equals 252, and Sn is 3n plus 2n squared. Now from this we can minus 2n squared from both sides, and we can take away 3n from both sides, so that will leave you with 2n is 252, so therefore n is 126. Okay, question 5. The curve C has equation y equals 2x plus 1 over x plus 4. Write down an equation of the asymptote to C that is parallel to the x-axis. So parallel to the x-axis means like this. So that means what value of y will not work, and what value for parallel to the y-axis, what value of x will not work. So what we were doing is we're looking at what value of the denominator. So if you look at a denominator x plus 4, to make that into 0, we need x equals minus 4, so that's the second one. Now to find parallel to the x-axis, we need to rearrange this and make x the subject. So you have y times x plus 4 is 2x minus 1. So xy plus 4y is 2x minus 1. Put the x onto this side, you get xy minus 2x is minus 4y minus 1. Factorize the x out, you get x and y minus 2 is minus 4y minus 1. So therefore x is minus 4y minus 1 over y minus 2. So what value of y will make our denominator here 0? Well, that will be when y is 2. So that gives you your other answer. When y is 2, denominator is 0, so x is undefined. So what does that look like on the graph? So x is minus 4 and y equals 2. These are our asymptotes, so our graphs do not cross these lines. If x is a big positive number, then y is going to be a big positive number. So that means we're going to be in like the top right quadrant. So if we can expect our graph to look something like this. Oops. And this. Find the coordinates of the point of the intersection of C with the coordinate axes. So there are 2 points here, 1 and 2. So we can do that by first putting x equals 0. If you put x equals 0 in here, you get y equals minus 1 over 4. And if you put y equals 0 in this one, so that's going to be 0 minus 1 over 0 minus 2. So that's minus 1 over minus 2, which is just a half. So x is a half, y is 0. So this is at a half, and this is at minus a quarter. Okay, that's the sketch done now, so that's another 3 marks. Next, the line with the equation y equals k1 is the tangent to C at point P. The line with the equation y plus k2 is the tangent to C at point Q. Given that the coordinate of P is greater than the coordinate of Q, find P and Q. So basically what we're saying is the gradient at P, just give me a sec. Let's try that again. Okay, so y equals x as a gradient of 1. Hang on, let me check this. When x is, this was the line y equals 2. This is line x equals minus 4. Yeah, I've got my graph wrong, hang on. So where are the points we identified? So we said that their axes are -1/4 and +1/2. So yeah, that means our graph looks something like this. Now that makes more sense. So these lines with a gradient of 1, I'll do them in a different color. So they basically are lines which look something like this. Right? So let's just copy and paste that, get another line. So 2 lines with the same gradient, but they have 2 different intercepts. So let's say this one is P and this one is Q. So if this one is P, then this is K1, and this point here where they intersect is K2. Okay. So using calculus, find the coordinates of P and Q. Right. So to use calculus, what we need to do is we need to differentiate our equation and find out when the gradient is equal to 1. So let's write our equation down. Our equation is y equals y equals 2x minus 1 over x plus 4. Now to differentiate this, because it's a fraction, we want to use the quotient rule. So dy by dx is v du. So since u is 2x minus 1 and v is x plus 4, the differential u dash is going to be 2 and v dash is 1. So v du is going to be 2x plus 8 minus u dv. So that's just going to be minus 2x minus 1, all divided by v squared. Okay, so 2x minus 2x is 0, 8 minus minus 1 is 9, so it's 9 over x plus 1 squared. But we're told that the gradient is 1, because y equals x. So therefore, we could say 9 is x plus 1 squared. Now we can just square root both sides. So we get x plus 1 is plus or minus 3. So therefore x is the value of x. The gradient is 1. Yeah, so the value of x is, so it's minus 1 plus 3, so that's going to be 2. Minus 1 minus 3 is minus 4. So we know x, so we can put them both in here and find the y values. So the y values when x is 2, so that's going to be 4 minus 1, which is 3. 3 over 6, which is a half. And put minus 4, so that's minus 9 over 0, which is infinity. Ooh. Okay. So now y equals x plus k1. So we can put y equals a half in. And we get x is 2 plus k1. So therefore k1 is minus 3 over 2. Okay, you do the similar thing and you can find K2. Okay, excellent. I'll come back and have a look at that one in a minute. I feel a little bit unsure. Give me a second, we'll do that. But for now, that should be the first 5 questions, and then we'll see where we go from there. Okay, thank you very much.